green flag at the back, and we are moments away from the start of this one. On the left-hand side, we have our race one winner, Dusk, but ahead of him is Killian. Staggered start for these guys. Revs have risen, and we are underway. Pretty good launch from both of those on the front row of the grid. But looks like Killian has made the better of the starts, easily able to pull across on the run towards turn number one. He's going to have to go pretty defensive down there, and does so. But around the outside, Isaac McNeil, what a start from him from fourth position. Takes up second place. Brilliant start. Late on the brakes around the outside and moves up to second.
Good start. So there was a car at the back of that pack was very slow off the line. That might have been the Castidas car. It was very tardy off the back of the pack there. Nevertheless, we are down to turn 6 already. And it is Harris. No, that's not Dust. That's the car there of Killian in front. The Radburn was pretty good off the line too as well. So there's the 11 car there. That's McNeil in front of Dust there.
Yeah, so
that's a change around. Didn't see that pass.
He made up the 2 places on the run towards turn number 1. So brilliant start by young McNeil. And he's trying to go with our race leader, Killian, who's pulled away early on. That's what he tried to do yesterday when he just ran off the road. Behind that, though, the number 30 of Burton, as he didn't have Kokotowicz in front of him. He has been able to close right in on the leading quartet as well, right on the tail of Imogen Radburn, who doesn't look too comfortable early on the cold tyres. You can see her working away at the wheel. She is really struggling out there. I'm not sure she got quite enough heat into the tyres, and she's lost touch with those top 3 at the start of this one. Imogen Radburn, she finished second yesterday, but coming under huge pressure from the Tim Macro Motorsport machine car directly behind.
That's Brock Burton behind him in the 30 car. They come down the main straight here for the first time. Great shot there from that camera there, the pit exit. We didn't have that angle yesterday.
Here we go, up the inside for the race lead. That's McNeil diving up the inside and through. What a brilliant start to the race for the youngster in car number 11 from 4th on the grid. He's already up to the front. Brilliant start.
Had a moment yesterday too in race 1. Had to fight his way back to the field. So the car's got plenty of pace. He certainly showed that yesterday during that race yesterday. So let's have a look there. So McNeil in front. And now to turn 6. So see if Killian can get himself back. And didn't let him get away too very good under brakes there at turn 6, Killian. So he kept him in touch here with McNeil. And there's Dust just behind him back there in 3rd position. So these are the ones that were certainly up the front there yesterday. Let's have a look at this. This is the replay of the pass. Oh, he does a little switch back there, got himself, that's a terrific move. It was a bit of the old bluff there. Switching sides there, so got himself on the inside, tried to fool the driver in front of him, and he certainly did that okay.
Pulled the old dummy and then did go to the inside. It was a great pass from Isaac McNeil. He'd have learnt that one in karting. I say he's an Australian karting champion, but he won the KA3 junior title and the KA2 AKC championship, 2 very high quality categories in the junior ranks. So I'm not surprised to see him taking the fight up the front of this field this weekend on debut. But look, he's not been able to break away. Killian is trying to follow suit, as is the race 1 winner Dusk as well. The top 3 have broken away from Radburn and Burton by a margin of 2 seconds. And look, the pole sitter goes defensive. Killian, but around the outside, that's brave stuff from the number 35 machine of Dusk. He can't do it, but he's got the cutback, the switcheroo on the exit of the turn 3 hairpin. He is, though, Mark, on the wrong side for turn number 5. Who's going to yield? Are either of them going to yield? They're flat through the fast left-hander, and who's going to emerge in front? The answer is Killian.
Yep, you hold on there. Little low shot there down there at turn 6. So here's Dusk. And Killian once again still trying to fight and sort themselves out. This is for 2nd and 3rd position. Well, McNeil's got a little bit of a break on him now out in the lead. Only while Killian's been trying to drive fairly defensively and trying to hold off the challenge from Dusk, who was our race winner yesterday.
And he looks fast at the moment.
He does, very good. Just got to find that passing opportunity. There's not a lot of them here at this track, but here's one of them. See this section. Let's have a look when they come back into our view, how they come out the other side. I think it's turn 17 there. There we go.
So there's
McNeil.
Huge lead he's pulled out in the last lap, that is for sure, as these two fight, scrapped for second position behind. McNeil has bolted into the distance. These guys were the pace setters yesterday. Although Dusk won the race, Killian set the fastest lap in the race and finished in position number 4. But he is really having to defend a lot early on in this one. He came home strong. Maybe that's the way that his car is set up to come home strong late on. They're long races, 25 minutes in duration.
Around the outside here for Dusk. Can he get it done? You bet you can.
Wow.
That's a good pass. Doing it going around the long way there at turn 1. Not easy to do. So a little bit of talent there from the young driver. In the 35 car there in Harrison Dust, the Tasmanian. Gee, there's been a lot of champion race car drivers come from that part of the world. He might be the future one.
Yeah, exactly right. He's forced to go defensive. Here we are, further back in the McGale class. We got the number 3, the number 73, and the number 21. It's Samuels, Stewart, and Lane. These guys were locked in combat for much of the race yesterday, and it's battle resume on Sunday morning out there at the Shell V-Power Motorsport Park. Marold has actually got ahead of Morgan and has been for the entirety of the race so far. It's just been so action-packed. I haven't got around to mentioning it until now. But Marold to be ahead of one of the Gen 2 machines is a fantastic performance. So in the older spec class in an outright 6th position. Great performance there. Oh, mistake from Dusk. He flicks up the dust around turn number 13, and around the outside goes Killian. Brave on the brakes. Swings it around the outside. I think Dusk, with all the dirt and debris on the tyres, didn't want to brake too late and understeer into Killian, and he pulled back a little bit, but that allowed the 13 to swing around the outside. But look, their fighting has brought Imogen Radburn and Brock Burton into this fight as well, as they swing it into the final corner. Who's going to get the run, the tow down the straight? We've got 2 AGI Sport cars, the 2 blue machines, and the 2 Tim Macro racing cars, the red and black ones. But out in front, it's the Valente Rosso car leading the way. Here we go towards turn number 1. Radburn's got the nice exit. She's got the slipstream and she's got the move. So Dusk has lost 2 places in a handful of corners, and it all began to unravel with that mistake at turn number 13, the fast blind right-hander.
Well, Radburn's the fastest car of that 4. So that's the reason why she's picked up that position. She is absolutely picking them off here. And she will be challenging for the lead very shortly if that's the case. And getting right up behind Killian there. Under brakes as well, just as they exit turn 6. She was certainly the one that was charging through the pack there. Dustin's got a bit of work to do too after his little indiscretion earlier in the previous lap. There they are, so top 4 now starting to get away. They've got away from Brock Burton a little bit. So they come down over the crest there. It was a great shot. And Dust there. And there's Burton just behind him, so not too far away either. McNeil's certainly got a nice little break too. Over 4 seconds on that previous lap, our race leader. So while this other 4 cars behind him are trying to sort themselves out, he's just snuck away.
I'm incredibly proud to introduce the new Pergolux Series 3.
Again here in race number 2 of the AU4 Championship. This is round number 1 of their series. Round 2 will take place again here in the middle of July. Phillip Island will play host to round number 3 before the series heads to Sydney Motorsport Park for the final 2 events in late August and late September. through they come to complete lap number 5 of the race. Fastest lap of the race last time through for Killian in the number 13 machine. And as you can see, he's broken away from the trio behind. He's pulled a little margin, just over a second, etching out the gap little by little, sector after sector. That is good news for the youngster who swings it around turn number 5. Faster than the leader by 4/10 last time by.
He's just done the fastest lap of the race there, Killian. So that does show on track as well, as you just mentioned there, Dan. So he's certainly the one to pick up. He's currently in second position. So Redburn, who was closing in on our second place getter, Killian, has slipped back a little bit further after Killian's has put in that good lap. Sports machine there, Burton.
After some frantic action, they have spread out a little bit now, haven't they? All of them, you know, you said about Radburn just losing touch with Killian, but Dusk has fallen off the tail of Radburn himself. So they are spreading out a little bit, this group, in the midway stage of this race.
Oh,
another
Dusk
mistake.
again, was it?
It is, yep.
Yeah.
The number 35.
Jeez.
Once again, he doesn't like that corner. And
having a little bit of trouble eating that turn 13. Getting himself out in the grass, and tell you what, it's giving Burton a massive look in here. Back there in the hoist entry. He down here to turn 17. It's a very deceptive corner, that one. It really rolls down the hill on the exit there as you come back towards 18. Yeah, so certainly Burton keeping nice and close to Dust this time around. He's got to try and recover from that little exit issue that he's got there at turn 13. He's done that in the last 2 laps. So we'll have to sort out that braking issue. Emma Burton very close at turn 1 that time around, going down through the S's between, well, not the S's, but turns 2 and 3. It's a bit like an S's complex. Here they go, the 2 red machines there, making their way down towards turn 6. Good under brakes, Burton, and once again very strong under brakes. Probably not as strong as Dusk. We saw that at a couple of corners, a little bit wide.
Kokoto, which we saw stall on the grid, we thought he'd be pushed back into the lane and start the race from pit lane. Sadly, it appears that was a little bit more terminal than we first thought. He's not made it out to start this race, so that's a real shame for the driver of the number 44 machine, another karting graduate. And Filippetto also not making the start of this one, a open wheel veteran, one of our Masters competitors. Did a couple of rounds in this series last year, notably at Sydney Motorsport Park, and here with a finish of 8th position, but won't be finishing 8th in this one because he did not take the start. The number 77 to move for position. That's Morgan, I believe, up the inside, is it? No, that's our race leader, lapping the tail of the field, I think.
It is, yeah, that's the lap car. And I think it's Castitas, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it is. They've got the orange markings on the race car there.
That's our other Masters class entry of Catsitas, who races in Formula race cars in New South Wales quite a bit in a Formula Renault car. But this weekend he switched it for the Formula 4 machine, and he's just getting out the way of Imogen Radburn down in towards turn number 1. He's parked right towards the apex of turn number 1. Hopefully he stayed out the way of the 2 behind of Dusk and Burton as they come through. Yes, he has. A great heads-up driving there from Katsidis, who, yes, has gone a lap down in the Gen 1 machinery. To just talk a little bit more about that, so our current car, the ones that we're looking at on the screen, that is the Tatis F4 T421.
Oh,
a spin.
Spinner.
That's the number 3, I think, of Samuels.
Yeah, confirmed. That looks like a 3 on the side of that car. And that's a little spin. He's got back on track fairly quickly there. And it's definitely the 3 car of Samuels there.
So he's lost a couple of places with that spin. He was just inside the top 10. Now he's weaving, trying to get the dirt and debris off the tyres. And you can see by the colour of the tyres just how dirty and dusty they got when he ran wide and spun around there at turn number 17. The old McGale chassis, the French-built machine, But the Tatis F4 T421 Generation 2 is homologated back in 2021. It's used all around the world in GB4 and many other championships. It's powered by a FIA to Bath engine, a 1.4 litre turbocharged motor that produces 160 brake horsepower. So it's a little pocket rocket. It's got all the mod cons that you'd expect it to have. A sequential gearbox, 6-speed sequential gearbox. Yes, as we see them come onto the pit straight, that lead margin has come down significantly the last couple of laps. Fastest lap of the race just set by Kilian. We have a look at the replay, all by himself, ran wide.
Oh, he got out in the gravel a bit there too.
Oh,
yes.
Spun coming back on. So a bit too much power when he came back onto the tarmac. No grip, and around went the F4 car. So an off-track excursion on the exit of turn 17 turned into a spin on the run towards turn 18. So a couple of mistakes there for the youngster, but he'll learn from that. Of course, these guys are so young competing in this racing series. But go back to the points out front, Kilian 51.2, 0.6 of a second faster than McNeil. The lead has been slashed down to 1.6 seconds. We've got to keep an eye on that in the closing stages. Still 6 minutes left in this race, plenty of time.
Certainly is. So it's the second car that was given an eye with that fast time in the Kilian entry. Trying to chase down McNeil. As you mentioned, that gap has certainly narrowed. And here's the next group. That's Radburn, Dusk and Burton in that order. Certainly Dusk has made up a little bit of ground too. I would have thought a little bit quicker on that lap. So he's taken some, narrowed that margin between him and Radburn. Radburn currently in third position on track. And here's the lead two. This is McNeil and Kilian.
That's a lot less than 1.6 seconds.
It certainly is.
It's come down significantly once again. And here's the fight for third position. Radburn, Dusk and Burton. So through they go, but this is it for the lead as they come across the line. 5 minutes left on the clock. The margin now down to 0.7 of a second. Another 9/10 taken away on that lap. And look at Radburn. She feels the need to go defensive on the run towards turn number 1.
And you can see that just before in the earlier shot, the Dusk was taking the ground off her. So the actual line marking entry certainly on the defence at the moment.
Dusk certainly has pace, doesn't he? But he just keeps making that error at turn 13. He's eliminated those errors and he's ranged in, honed in on the back of Imogen Radburn once again. So that just shows that he does have the pace, and that's why he won the race yesterday.
He's certainly, absolutely correct. And there they are. So I don't think the lead to, so I mean, Neil will certainly be on the defence too. There they are, just going over the crest there at turn 7. To see him on the long shot there. There they are. Oh yes. So Kilian certainly on the charge here. Has McNeil responded? Well, Kilian did the fastest lap of the race so far in that previous lap, and this is game on.
A little bit wide through Crofty Corner, and look at that. That's the first little look from Kilian. He got a great run out of the sweeping turn number 12, and McNeil is going to be seeing the AGI Sport car in his mirrors now. What can he do? 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes still to go. Can he stop the relentless speed of Kilian? That is the question.
He's got better pace. This is going to be a massive opportunity. Super pace here for Kilian at the moment.
McNeil being smart about it though. He's not defending clean air. He's only defending when he needs to. Into the final corner. Look at the exit from the AGI Sport car. He's got the slipstream, he's got the toe. McNeil pulls to the inside of the circuit, lets his intentions be known. I'm going to defend this for all my might. Down towards turn 1. We've seen Kilian pull off an overtake around the outside here already in this race. Can he do it again? Not quite. The number 11 late on the brakes, but a bit of a twitch on the exit. They're almost touching through turn number 2. This is fantastic action. Look at Kilian trying, looking left, looking right, looking everywhere for a way through. Not able to do it at the moment. McNeil goes slightly defensive into 5, and that's going to affect his run. Into turn 6, the 13 dives up the inside. Kilian locks up, runs a little bit wide. Big sideways moment. He caught it, and he takes the lead.
It's going to happen sooner or later. Now he's got the pace. He should get away from McNeil here. See how close he was trying to get that position. He eventually had the nose cone right under the rear of McNeil's car there in those first few corners of the circuit there. So he's virtually out worried him. He's got past him. It's the other three behind him. I mentioned Radburn, Dusk and Burton. They were very close when we were watching our lead pair. And now we can see Killian now starting to run away. Look at all the gap he's got him. He's got some super pace. Wow, look at the gap.
Again,
Yeah.
McNeil made the same mistake he did last lap at turn 12. He just runs about a car width wide, and when the corner's that long and that loaded, running a metre wide means you lose a lot of time. Here it is, the battle you were just referring to, the trio, 3rd, 4th and 5th, Imogen Radburn. Then we have the number 35 of Harrison Dusk and Brock Burton in car number 30 at the tail of the trio. Harrison Dusk is, as we say, a reasonably established karter from Tasmania, doing well both in state competition and national competition. But he was also a finalist in the Ferrari Driver Academy last year, the little program that takes place over in Malaysia. So to be a finalist in that shows how highly regarded he already is. And he's on the tail of Imogen Radburn on the blast towards turn 1.
Nice and close under brakes there to it, turn 1. Just in that shot, getting into not too many more laps in this race. Certainly getting down towards the last bit. So this is for 3rd position. So can Dusk get up and get himself on the podium in this race? We're about to find out. But certainly Radburn certainly responded. He's very quick down that section between turns 5 and 6 under the brake, and actually just having a look there, I think Dusk has gone on the defence a little bit there, but Burton got the nose cone right up underneath him in the rear of the car. Very close there under brakes.
It's been a fascinating first couple of races. We've seen different drivers be fast at different times. Dusk was very much the pace setter for much of the race yesterday, but we saw that Radburn and McNeil had good pace in that one. In this race, we saw McNeil lead by quite some margin early on. However, Killian's come on strong late in the race. So all weekend long, we've seen these 5 drivers fast at different times. And we're really looking forward to race number 3 later on this afternoon, when we have a different grid once again for that race. So there's going to be lots of talking points in that one. Make sure you stay tuned on the screens of Blendline TV.
So there's our 2nd, 3rd and 4th positions there. I think Radburn, she's responded nicely there at the moment. And not too many changes as far as those places are concerned. So, yeah.
Radburn started her open wheeler career in Formula Ford, but moved to Formula 4 last year. And she's the highest returning place driver from last year's championship. So she certainly kick-started this season with a very strong result. Her first top 3 finish in the championship, and she's hoping to make that a repeat here in this race, but she's not going to have it easy, is she? She has both of the Tim Macro racing cars right on her gearbox. However, in the last couple of corners, she has broken away a little bit. That's the biggest margin I've seen between her and the Tim Macro cars in quite some time.
Yes, it certainly has been. Oh, geez. Just have a look at there. Burton, he's good under brakes there, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's right up underneath Dust there through that section. And then but certainly in a straight line, Dust has got the better pace. He's not too sure about his braking capabilities, Dusk, is he? He's had a few little issues during this race. So he's probably not quite as confident as probably what Burton is under brakes. And there they are there at the moment. It's the Hoyt's entry there with Burton on board. So there is the Radburn entry there in the AGI entry.
I think in the last couple of corners, Dusk has closed a little bit, but I think it might be a little bit too little too late with just a handful of corners to go. There is the number 3 machine of Samuels, who we saw have the off-track excursion earlier on. And now he's just about to be lapped. He should just about stay on the lead lap, I think. Behind, though, Killian. He finished in 4th yesterday, set the fastest lap of the race. He's been very fast again in this one, and he takes his first victory in the AU4 Championship. Does so by 2.2 seconds ahead of Isaac McNeil. Radburn holds on to 3rd. Dusk in position number 4. So both the race winners have also bagged a 4th place finish. And it's very tight in the points at the moment, because McNeil got a third and a second. Radburn's got a 2nd and a 3rd. So they really have done all a bit of a reverse on each other. The points are very, very close in the top 4 going into the final race later on this afternoon. But Kilian, he started from pole, dropped back a couple of positions early on, but once he found his rhythm after the first couple of laps, he was unstoppable, came through like a train, and in the end won by a reasonable margin.
There's a long way between 6. We're just waiting for the Morgan entry to come through, and there she is.
Yeah,
so she'll make her way through, Georgie Morgan.
Unfortunately, she didn't finish yesterday, so good to see her get her first finish in the series. And just behind Marold in the first of the McGale cars. He's closed in late on by young Kobe Wilson, but he did hold on by a margin of just a smidge over 3 seconds. So Marold from Wilson and Fitzpatrick coming across the line to finish or round out the podium place getters in that one.
That was a eventful race up the front. We didn't see too much of the McGale cars, but
looks to me like they had a little battle as well. Not so much wheel to wheel, but on the times matching each other throughout that race. Next across the line is the number 73 of Diago Stewart. And then following that, we have the last person on the lead lap, which was Lane in position number 11. Great race, that one. Thoroughly enjoyed AU4 once again. But we've got a different winner. Last year, Jimmy Pazik dominated the series, but this year we have a real title battle in front of us.
Certainly seems the way. Lots of changes in the points, as you mentioned there, Dan. 2 very different results from the first 2 races of the weekend. So it will come down to the last race this afternoon to decide who takes the round, and that's the way we want it.
Absolutely.
That keeps us on the edge of our seat.
Great race, that one. Their final race of the weekend will take place this afternoon at 1:55 p.m. local time. So they've got around a 4-hour break or a 3-hour break before they'll be back on the racetrack. Can't wait for that one. But our winner of race number 2, in the end, it went the way of Noah Kilian in car number 13. Unlucky for some, certainly not for him in that one.
Definitely not.
A very good performance from the youngster. We'll be back on Blendline TV on the other side of this.